Christopher Columbus was a renowned Italian explorer and navigator who played a pivotal role in the discovery of the New World. He was born in Genoa, Italy, in 1451 and went on to become one of the most celebrated explorers of his time. Early life and career. Christopher Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy, in 1451. His father, Domenico Colombo, was a wool weaver and his mother, Susanna Fontanarossa, was the daughter of a wool weaver. Columbus was the eldest of 5 children, and he spent much of his early life working in his father's shop. As a young boy, Columbus showed a strong interest in sailing and exploration. He became an apprentice to a local Genoese ship captain and learned the skills necessary to navigate and sail a ship. He also gained experience in the wool trade, which would prove valuable later in his career. In 1477, Columbus moved to Lisbon, Portugal, where he worked as a mapmaker and studied navigation. He became fascinated by the idea of sailing westward across the Atlantic Ocean to reach the East Indies. At the time, the only known route to the East Indies was through the Mediterranean Sea, across the Middle East, and then by land to China and India. First voyage to the New World. Columbus made his first voyage to the New World in 1492, under the sponsorship of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. He set out with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, with the goal of finding a new route to the East Indies. After a long and difficult journey, Columbus and his crew finally arrived in the Caribbean on October 12, 1492. They landed on an island that Columbus named San Salvador. Columbus believed that he had reached the East Indies, and he referred to the native people he encountered as Indians. Over the course of his first voyage, Columbus explored several islands in the Caribbean, including Cuba and Hispaniola. He encountered many native peoples, some of whom were friendly and others who were hostile. Columbus and his crew established a small settlement on Hispaniola, which they named La Navidad. Columbus returned to Spain in March 1493 and was received as a hero. He had accomplished what many had thought was impossible, and he had opened up a whole new world for exploration and exploitation. Later voyages and controversy. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the New World over the course of his career. His second voyage, which took place in 1493, was much larger than his first. He set out with 17 ships and over 1,000 men, and his goal was to establish a permanent colony in the Caribbean. Columbus encountered many challenges during his later voyages, including conflicts with native peoples, disease, and mutiny among his own crew. Despite these challenges, Columbus continued to explore and establish settlements throughout the Caribbean. Columbus's reputation began to decline in the later years of his career. His treatment of the native peoples he encountered was harsh, and he was accused of exploiting them for his own gain. He was also criticized for his management of the colonies he established, which were often plagued by disease, famine, and conflict. Legacy. Christopher Columbus's legacy is complex and controversial. On the one hand, he is celebrated as one of the greatest explorers in history and is credited with discovering the New World. His voyages opened up a new era of exploration and expansion, and they laid the groundwork for the development of the Americas. On the other hand, Columbus's treatment of native peoples and his role in the exploitation and colonization of the Americas are deeply problematic.